You're watching TVC News at 10. A school will now be built on one of the sites where a hotel was demolished for allegedly flouting lockdown regulations in Rivers State. Governor Nyesom Wike said the project would be of better benefit to residents, insisting he acted within the ambit of the law in enforcing an executive order. Controversy has continued to trail the demolition of Prodest Hotel in Alode, Eleme Local Government, long after the dust raised by the bulldozers had settled. There seems to be end to the argument about the implementation of an executive order upon which Governor Nyesom Wike acted. But officials say the governor was also forced to take action due to the attack on members of the COVID-19 task force while enforcing coronavirus regulations at the hotel. Some of them are being treated for their injuries in this hospital in the area. But joining us to discuss this more on TVC News at 10 is the State Commissioner for Information, Nsirim. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10. Well, Rivers State has recorded relatively low numbers on the COVID-19 infections. Now, talk us through the strategy the state has adopted and in sustaining this achievement so far.
Thank you very much. I'd like to say that for us in Rivers State, we're quite privileged to have a visionary and proactive leader in the person of His Excellency Nyesom Wike, our governor. He didn't wait for an index case to be recorded in this state before he set up an interministerial committee for public enlightenment and mass mobilization. And then before we had the index case, the State Treatment Center was fully equipped, the surveillance officers were trained, and the facilities for treatment of coronavirus was in place. And as a governor who understands the dynamics of leadership, he was the first to close borders in the country, the first to sign executive orders, the first to also be the chairman of the implementation task force that goes on monitoring. Now, with this kind of strategies in place, you find that the state is having a relatively low prevalence.
And Mr. Nsirim, all right, you will agree with me that these have not come without some face-off. Talk about the face-off with Caverton helicopters, the threats by maritime workers to go on strike over disagreements with the state government, and more recently, the demolition of 2 hotels. People think, and they say that the government seems to be a bit high-handed. What is your reaction to this?
Let me say this. Governor Nyesom Wike is a compassionate leader. Now, I'll start from the hotels that were demolished. One of the task force members is dead now. He has a family, he has children, he has relations. Now, we're talking about human life. You cannot allow people take the laws into their hands and then take human life. He has consistently demonstrated in his governance of Rivers State that he is a man who has come to serve his people. High-handedness is not. He's a lawyer, a life bencher. He understands the law, and that's why for every action he has taken in this regard, he has the backing of an executive order. So people don't want to see the other side that, look, the task force members were attacked, brutalized with head injuries, and now one is dead. We are talking about property.
Indeed, Mr. Nsirim, but the way it is that people are concerned that the governor seems to be taking the place of the executive, the judiciary, and all of the arms put together. No, you know, one would have thought that these people would be arrested and then handed over to the courts for justice to take its course.
Yes, we are in a crisis situation. We are in a war situation. No leader would fold his hands and see those he has empowered to take on the task of implementing policies being brutalized and killed. So we have a situation where people need to understand that what we are facing now is more than a conventional warfare. And strategically thinking, every leader who has the interests of his people at heart will want to save their lives.
And talking about the lives of the people who are involved here, many residents of Nigerian cities, Port Harcourt not excluded, live on what they make on a daily basis. How does Rivers State government intend to cushion the effect of a sustained total lockdown that will now resume in Port Harcourt by Sunday night?
Yeah, I will say straightforward to you that His Excellency has set up a palliative committee and also set up a food purchasing committee. He has set aside 2 billion naira to purchase foodstuffs from farmers and fisher folks in the state. And so this purchasing committee provides the foodstuff that the palliative committee distributes to the people. So we have on ground a model for the rest of the country to copy. There's no part of this country where this kind of model is in existence. And I take this opportunity to also talk about the rumor flying around in the state that the governor has said he's going to lock down the state for some number of days. And I need to establish the fact there's established protocol of communication since coronavirus started in Rivers State. It's either the governor gives out information or the commissioner for information. Anything that does not come from the governor and the commissioner for information should be disregarded and should be seen as home.
Indeed, Commissioner for Information in Rivers State, Nsirim, thank you for talking to us on TVC News at 10.